want to come back to this issue before the EU flag minister in relation to these matters. So we might not agree on this philosophically, but it seems to me that your argument against individuals using their own super is that would somehow damage the demand side of the market. And I think you referred to super fund funded research before, which talked about house prices. So,
well, it's not. Look, I think it's also.
Can I ask the question? Mr.
Estlake also said it would be one of the worst public policy decisions of the 21st century. So that's, there are other commentators out there.
People have different views, and I respect that. I guess all I was going to ask you is.
So you're suggesting a broad intervention where you just take, whatever you can,
really like to ask
50 to 75,000 out, isn't going to impact on house prices or demand.
Sorry, are you asking the questions or am I?
That was a question, but would you like to?
Well, it's not
it's
not rhetorical. My question is actually quite simple. So, if your position is, if the view of the government is that allowing individuals to use their own super for a house is bad for some reason, in your world of paternalism, how is it good then that super funds can also invest in the housing market as institutions, not as individuals, and that has no impact on the prices or the concerns you flagged? I don't understand the logic.
It's new housing stock.
I don't understand the logic.
So, well, you're obsessed with super funds.
I'm asking you to explain the logic.
No, well, you're focusing on super funds. What we are trying to do is encourage institutional investment into the delivery of social and affordable housing. Okay? It's a feature of other countries' housing system. It hasn't been one of ours. We tried it with NRAS. Your government abolished NRAS. There is, a gap identified that we think, with the settings that are right, could drive the increase of housing supply.
Okay. So
your idea is that individuals, often those without much super, are encouraged to basically drain their super and therefore their retirement savings in order to have a stampede towards purchasing a house, and that, seemingly not caring about the impact that would have.
So the logic here is that if you're an institution and you use superannuation money in the housing market, it has no impact on price inflation that you seem to be concerned about. But if you're an individual, you're going to blow up the market. That's your argument.
Well,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Because the institutional investment is to try and drive the increase in social and affordable housing in a targeted way. Like, you're targeting who would be eligible for that, and you're targeting that housing stock. Your idea is just a free-for-all to drain your superannuation to go and compete with the other person who's taken their super to try and buy existing stock, not even one extra house. So they are quite different. Now, I know that you can't stand the superannuation system, so we have a fundamental disagreement about what it's there for and what its role is.
It funds your party, which is why you love it.
Oh.
I think in the last year, the super funds have given $40 million
nothing to do with that.
to the Labor Party and to the unions. So
rest assured, it doesn't have anything to do with that.
It's now becoming the major donor to your political movement. So I know you don't want to unpick it for political reasons. I'm asking you to explain the logic.
Nothing to do that. We've always believed in super. We built the superannuation system.
Because it's your major,
we will continue
donor.
to support it, and at the same time we will try and focus and target interventions to increase housing supply, something that your policy doesn't do. Not one extra house, just cash everybody up to go and
but I mean, you haven't built any new houses.
Stock.
5 years ago, the country was building 220, 230 houses.
We are building
1,000 houses.
We are.
And now you're down to 170,000 houses.
Yeah, and that didn't happen overnight, Senator
So your
Bragg,
policies on...
and that's why we have a range of different interventions.
It took at least 2 years.
A range of different interventions to deal with that.
I don't think we're going to agree on philosophy.
But if your argument is there isn't enough houses, what's going to happen under your policy?
Look, I was trying to get you to explain the logic. You haven't wanted to. That's fair enough.